It's been a while. Um, Apologies for the absence. I have not made a video, I guess, in 6 years. A lot has changed, obviously. I kind of accidentally stumbled across my old videos recently, and I was going through, and just as inconsistent and wishy-washy as I was back then. And I noticed that I had a series going that I do remember called Switch Week, and it was meant to be a series of videos released the week before the release of the Nintendo Switch, which was now almost 7 years ago. I did not complete that. My apologies to my dedicated viewers. But I figured now would be a good opportunity to do a sort of review of the Nintendo Switch as a whole throughout its lifetime. It really does feel, at least from my perspective, that the Nintendo Switch has kind of run its course. Less games are being developed. It seems like, the Tears of the Kingdom was the real last push. And obviously stuff will still come out. But as Nintendo sort of pivots to their new console that'll be releasing in the next few years, it really is sort of a time for me to think back and sort of play old games and just think about the console as a whole. And for reference, my first ever video game console, my dad bought for our family a Nintendo Wii a couple years after release, not right when it came out, but maybe 2008, 2009. 6, 7 years old. Loved, obviously, the Wii. Wii Sports and all of the Wii Sports Resort, all of these other fun family games. And it was a real family console. And I actually, that was the extent of my video game expertise. For a while, at the end of the very short-lived lifespan of the Wii U, I also bought one of those as my first ever big purchase video game console. Played a bunch of Mario and a couple other games. And then the Nintendo Switch was really going to be my first, from day one, video game console that was my own. And I remember, months beforehand being very excited for the release of the Nintendo Switch, and obviously Breath of the Wild being the title game, and then Super Mario Odyssey, that 1-2 punch, within months of the console releasing. It was extremely fun to play. I've never been extremely involved in video games. I would say that I've played them casually my whole life, but the most that I've ever played video games has definitely been on the Nintendo Switch, and I've got my original one here, different Joy-Cons obviously. I have played a lot of games, a lot of not great games, a lot of, my favorite games of all time on this console. It's, I've obviously changed a lot in the last 6 or 7 years, and this console has been there with me for all of it, basically. In these past few months especially, I've gone back to play some of the older games after I finished Tears of the Kingdom. And I think that I kind of can look at the console now as a whole in a way that obviously I wasn't able to when it first released. And I'm just, it's been with me through some very highs and some very lows, and I'm not going to delve into it, obviously, but that's all to say that, I don't think I could have thought of a better console to have had as my first real console. I think that it's this video, and it'll serve as like a catharsis, a nice ending for Switch Week. Again, my apologies for the delays, but also just for the Nintendo Switch as a whole. Whatever Nintendo plans to do, whether it's create a Switch 2 or, pivot in a different direction, I don't think it can be understated how impactful this console has been, not just to me, but to all of video games. When we think about what it was able to do with the portable and home gaming capabilities, I am extremely appreciative, obviously, to have been able to play this. And I think, looking back now, sort of with nostalgia and everything, I'm just, I think that I was so excited for the launch of the game. Obviously, it motivated me enough to make a incomplete video series. But by all accounts, I mean, it really met, and even in some respects exceeded, my expectations of what a console could be. I've made so many friends playing these games. When I think of like Splatoon, I mean, I've had so many fun, with party games like 1-2-Switch or with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. I've had so many memories that I've made, and some of the most that I've ever played video games has been with the Nintendo Switch. And more than anything, I kind of want to wrap up Switch Week, the seven-year long week, and this whole Nintendo Switch saga, just in gratitude, because I think that it could have been a Wii U part 2. But I think that they did almost everything right in terms of marketing, in terms of game releases, in terms of even the different versions of the console, be it the OLED or the other handheld versions. And I think that, in my opinion, I think that this sort of handheld home console blend will be what Nintendo sticks to, because it's no surprise, no secret that they just don't have the technological capabilities of Xbox or PlayStation, or especially PC gaming. But what they do have more than anything is quality of games, and I think that can be said for 75% of the titles that they release. There really is a high bar for quality control, and even though that can be kind of annoying at times, Nintendo really does a good job of ensuring that whatever it is that they put out there, games or consoles, meet a certain threshold of quality. And I would say that this era of Nintendo gaming has certainly met that expectation of quality. And again, I'm glad to wrap this video series up. Maybe in the future I will make more videos. I'm not gonna make that promise. I'm not even gonna remotely promise anything, just because obviously I'm not very good at sticking to my word when it comes to video making. But I've been thinking a lot about a creative outlet, and I think that I miss making videos and talking to a camera. And maybe in the future, now that I'm like my frontal lobe has developed a little bit more, I can work a little bit more on quality of videos and making stuff that I actually I feel kind of passionate about. Maybe I don't know. I think it's just, I'm very happy to sort of put a nice little bow on what has been a video series that has plagued me for years. And I'll every once in a while think about the fact that I never finished it. So for the review that I promised, this Nintendo Switch is it's very good. Thank you for waiting all of these years for the video. I really appreciate it, and be on the lookout. Thanks.